Kwaba, my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It's Melamishi. Today, okay, first and foremost, can we just give it a shout out to the consistency, because it's been 4 weeks in a row and I know that's not major, but that is, if you've been following me, you know that's pretty big. I hope all of you guys are good and healthy. If I'm sounding a little bit raspy today, it's because I'm actually recovering from what I thought was just like a fever, stomach bug, but I'm pretty sure now was COVID, because my boyfriend has actually lost his sense of taste and smell. We were eating Nando's and he said that everything tasted metallic, so I'm pretty sure that is not normal, but I'm definitely on the mend, so we're thankful for that. You guys remember from a previous video that I mentioned that I had a horror hair experience in Ghana. Like, genuinely, I cried in the salon, and ever since I took out my protective style from Ghana, I actually realized the density of my hair had dropped by about at least 40%. My edges were non-existent, like genuinely gone, robbed.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
My hair is just struggling. My hair's genuinely struggling. Everyone's kind of gone through a hair hiccup, a hair obstacle. This was by far the worst I've ever had in my whole natural hair journey. So it just kind of got me rethinking about how I look after my hair and why it's so important to maintain healthy hair, at least for myself, but I'm sure you guys can relate as well. I just thought to write down a couple tips, things that I feel like I need to be reminded of on my natural hair journey in order to ensure my hair is thriving as much as it can. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to share those reminders with you guys as well. So if you like the vibes on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the video. So the first thing you want to remind yourself of is some of the basic principles that encompass curly natural hair, and actually ask yourself, is this life for me? I don't think there's a single person that would disagree when I say growing healthy natural hair is a task, and there's a couple reasons for that. So number one, any curl texture above 3B has more of a coily, curly texture, so naturally when you're combing your hair or manipulating your hair, it's going to be more prone to knots and tangles and breakage. The second thing you want to consider is that Afro hair has more of an elliptical hair shaft compared to our white or Asian counterparts. The more round your hair shaft is, the straighter your hair is, which is why a lot of Asian people have very straight hair. And the more elliptical your hair shaft is, the more coily your texture is going to be. But naturally you can see the shape of the hair shaft is a lot thinner, which is also going to make our hair a lot more prone to breakage. The third thing you want to consider is that natural hair is naturally dry. With natural hair, it's good to know your hair porosity, it's good to be on top of your moisture game, your protein game, your trim game. If you're truly on your A game, there are so many things that you have to consider. So you really have to be honest with yourself and think, is this actually for me? Why am I doing this? For myself, I think it's really important for me to be able to wear my natural hair out confidently, because I struggle with low self-esteem. It got to the point in my life where I realized, you know what, if I'm gonna give myself more self-love and accept myself for who I am, I have to be able to see my physical appearance and be acceptant of it. So that's with no makeup, no nails, no lashes, none of those frills, and being able to rock my natural hair in its natural state. So in those moments where it's 9 p.m. and I need to take out a protective style, wash my hair the next day, and then do another protective style the following day, occupying my entire weekend, in those moments I think back to my why, and it gives me strength. Reminder number 2, keep it moisturized. Think of your hair as though it's a plant. You need water to keep it growing. And it's not that water helps it to grow, but water makes our hair a lot more malleable, a lot more flexible, which is why anytime you want to manipulate your hair or detangle your hair, you want to make sure there's a little bit of water inside of it, which is going to lead to less breakage on the long term. Like we said before, our hair is naturally more dry, so you want to replenish it. And just personally for me, I just find that when my scalp is hydrated, it's just happier. So, which leads me on to my next reminder, which is scalp health. Keeping with the analogy of the plant, right? So if your hair is the plant, then your scalp is the soil. And if there's an issue with the plant, you're gonna check the soil. So if there's an issue with your hair, you want to check your scalp. And I think the thing that clicked for me is when I realized that the same way the skin on my face has pores, my scalp does as well. And so you're gonna want to decongest it sometimes, especially when you're using things like gels and heavier products. And I know the topic of scalp health when it comes to braids can be a tricky one, but guys, you need to wash your braids. And you might think this will lead to your hair getting frizzier, but there's a way to keep your scalp healthy and also keep your style cute. The fourth thing to remember is your hair porosity type and how that might affect your hair routine. But what is hair porosity? Really simply, it's your hair's ability to absorb and retain moisture. You may have heard people say things like, it's not about the products you use, it's the method that you use. And hair porosity is the epitome of it. Completely changes your entire approach to your hair, from how much protein you might decide to add, to how much time it might take for your hair to actually get moisturized, to adding heat into your deep conditioning routine. There's so many things that hair porosity dictates. Knowing your hair porosity type will allow you to adapt your hair routine, which inevitably is going to help you to grow your hair. Okay, so the fifth reminder is a pretty controversial one. Be mindful with who you actually allow onto your head top. I'm talking hairdressers, I'm talking mums, I'm talking Auntie Belindas down the road. Genuinely, if there's anything I want you to take away from this video, it should be this point. And I feel like this clicked for me when I went to Ghana and obviously returned, and my hair was just, it was unrecognizable. If you're in a hairdresser's seat and you're hearing, let me even get some hair, for example. So for demonstration purposes, you gotta run, sis, you gotta run. If you're happy to find a random hairdresser online, sit in their seat, allow them to rip your hair out with the non-detangling brush, put no heat protection in your hair when they're re-blow drying your hair for the 5th time, and then braiding your hair so you have goosebumps on your head top, then how are you expecting to have edges? I'm speaking to myself as well though. Genuinely, please be vocal when something is going wrong. If you feel like this doesn't feel quite right, this doesn't sound quite right, just speak to your hairdresser. At the end of the day, you are paying for a service, okay? And if you're not happy with the service, if you're not happy with the way that your natural hair is being treated, because at the end of the day, the only person that's going to have to deal with your hair after you take the protective style out is you. Let me even make it deeper. You wouldn't leave your child in the hands of anybody. So why are you leaving your hair in the hands of anybody, okay? It's your plant, it's your baby, it's, you know, the attachment. We could have another conversation another day about the bondage that hair has on black women, but today, here's your baby. Oh, and one other thing, when you're getting your braids done and she's trying to neaten up the braid at the end by using scissors, like up the braid, I'll try and find an example here to show you guys. Don't let her do that, because she's cutting your natural hair along the way. Reminder number 6, just let your hair down. I feel like we are going through our own epidemic where we think it's okay to put our hair in a ponytail for 1 week and expect our hairline not to fall apart. I am definitely a perpetrator of this. Definitely when I went to Ghana and I did like my extra small braids and I kept on putting it in a high pony. This robbed me of my hairline. I could actually see, like, you know, the end of the hair, like when your hair falls out, you can see the white bit at the end of it. That's when you know the tension has been way too much. So don't let us do the braids too tight too. I mean, all of these things is tension. It's just gonna pull your hair from the root and you say bye-bye. Tip number 7 is diet, vitamins and water. This one actually, I know it sounds so obvious, but I'm just gonna give you a personal insight. So recently I've been having some health issues. It made me have really heavy periods. And my iron, I'm anemic anyway, but my iron reached new levels of low. And when I say my hair has been falling out, if you guys, if you are anemic, if you know iron is low, please keep on top of it. Please go and get blood tests done. Please keep on top of your vitamins. There's loads of vitamins that contribute towards healthy hair growth. So just Google, familiarize yourself. But definitely for my anemic babes, take your iron. In fact, take your iron tablet right now. Pause this video and go and take your iron tablet right now, okay? Tip number 8 is trims. Get into the habit of getting professional trims maybe like once or twice a year, but also learning how to trim your own ends, like dust your own ends. I don't put a lot of heat through my hair, but I do blow dry my hair, and so I know that I need to give myself a trim maybe like every 3 to 4 months. Just dust the ends a little bit, let everything be nice and tidy, uniform, clean, so when you do your braid outs, it's gonna make sense. It's gonna make sense. And then in terms of hair growth, if you have split ends and you cut those ends, you're less likely to allow that split end to travel up the hair shaft, whereas if you leave your split ends, you're gonna get more breakage. Reminder number 9 is pretty simple. Just keep your hair protected, use heat protectants, keep heat to a minimum, all of that good stuff to prevent damage, because at the end of the day, prevention is better than cure. And then to round everything up, reminder number 10 is just to be aware that the natural hair community is always going to be moving. There's always going to be a new thing, a new trend, a new regime to follow. But just always try to do your own research. Make sure that you are familiar with why you're doing what you're doing and find what works for you. Make sure you're familiar with ingredients. So anytime you pick up a product, look at the back, look at the ingredient list, look at where the ingredients are on the list, because the higher up they are, obviously the more the ingredient is in the product. Have a general feel of what each ingredient does for your hair, because that's just going to help you to find out what products are going to work for you. Okie dokie, that is all of my reminders, all of my tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to show me love on the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.